Yo, this is Son of Chaos, and welcome to a different video today. These are the type of videos that I don't usually do, but this whole Crash and Spyro crossover has made a lot of people very upset, and I believe there was going to be a Crash 5. If I am not mistaken, isn't Crash 5 supposed to be a crossover of Crash and Spyro? Let me know in the comment section if I'm right about that or not. But in this video, I am going to read some articles about the whole situation and not to mention talk about the Crash 5 cancellation. So here goes. Alright, in this video, I'm going to read the Nintendo Everything article so that way you guys can actually listen to what I am saying in the article and hopefully that you guys will get it. Alright, so here goes. Crash Bandicoot 5 was reportedly developed as a Spyro crossover, but it was canceled. Why am I not surprised? According to an in-depth report from Did You Know Gaming full video, which I'm pretty sure you guys have already read. What do you mean? What am I saying? Already read. I'm pretty sure you guys have already seen the video at this point. Toys for Bob was once developing Crash Bandicoot 5, which would have been in a crossover game with Spyro the Dragon. However, the project was ultimately canceled. The hook behind Crash Bandicoot 5, aside from Crash Twin Insanity, Academy of Evil making a comeback as the main setting, involved the return of Uka Uka, who previously appeared in Crash Bandicoot Warp, and it was in Crash Bandicoot 4's secret ending. Uka Uka would have gained access to the interdimensional portal in which he would travel to Spyro's universe. If I'm not mistaken, excuse me, if I'm not mistaken, if I remembered exactly, like, I know this is like a different thing, but I remember watching a episode of, God, it's been so long since I've watched it, but it was actually pretty interesting. I remember there was like a Spyro cartoon that had Crash in it, and God, it's been so long since I remembered. But anyway, Spyro Universe. Trying to remember where I left off. Okay, never mind. Use his magic on the Dragon Elders and send that wood into chaos while threatening Crash home. Crash Bandicoot 5 was considered to be slightly darker compared to the previous title in terms of both visuals and storytelling, with a stronger focus of the series lore. A Crash Bandicoot game that was going to be a lot darker than the other games. That is actually pretty damn interesting, to be super honest, because, like, honestly, like, can y'all imagine a darker version of a Crash Bandicoot game? Like, that would be kind of wild. Crash and Coco would then go to an adventure to and from Spyro's world in hope of stopping Uka Uka. They would naturally meet Spyro himself and restore the Dragon Elders. Toys for Bob was considering various ideas for the Crash Bandicoot 5 X Spyro the Dragon crossover at the time. These include the returns of realms from the original Spyro impacted by Uka Uka sorcery, collecting dragon features, bringing back some legacy Spyro characters like Agnor's, Norts, and more gender swap alternative universe characters similar to Trophy in Crash Bandicoot 4. My apologies if I said Trophy wrong. I don't know if I got it right or not, so just bear with me. Aside from Crash and Spyro, another playable character such as Nina, Cortex, and Coco being considered as well. Crash and Spyro may have been playable separately, but there was also a discussion around having them be used together. An idea even involved crashing riding on Spyro's back. That would have been an interesting concept, to be super honest. Like, real talk, for those who are actually watching this as of right now, don't y'all think that Crash riding on Spyro would be a good idea? Me personally, I think that would have been a good idea, to be super honest. God, like, I can't imagine this game being made right now, but unfortunately, it's canceled. Toys for Bob only worked on Crash Bandicoot 5 for around 3 to 4 months. The team largely focused on concept art and some early demo environments at the time. This was done between summer and November 2020, all in pre-production. Unfortunately, Activision then canceled Crash Bandicoot 5 in parts due to Crash Bandicoot 4 not meeting the company's low feed sales expectations and moving away from big budget single player games, which you would have liked to see the game becoming a reality. Let us know in the comments. I'm going to be super honest. I think they probably should have went along with it. Like I'm gonna be super honest with y'all. I really don't know how I feel about this. I really don't. Cause honestly, like, if it were up to me, considering of this whole situation, honestly, I think Activision should have just went along with it. And it really intrigues me that I'm gonna go back up here in a minute. Like, no, I think it was in this part. The fact that Toys for Bob only worked on Crash Bandicoot 5 for around 3 to 5 months. This was like a pre-production thing, was actually pretty interesting. But I'm gonna go on ahead and read some more articles because I want to get the full detail, because I want to fill in on the details. All right, now we got another article where it says Crash Bandicoot reportedly cut in favor of more live service games. Excuse me. The Crash Spyro team up that could have been. Excuse me. In the news that will likely come as a gut punch to fans of not sure how to pronounce that. A new report from gaming historian Liam Robertson, thanks VGC, alleges that Crash Bandicoot 5 was in development at Toys for Bob's, but was canceled after Activision pulled funding in favor of live service multiplayer offerings. Of course, this really doesn't surprise me of the fact that Activision kind of pulled the plug on this. I'm not surprised, because, everybody wanted a Crash Bandicoot 5 that was going to be in development, and who knows when that game was going to be coming out. But anyway, continue. Apparently, this was due to what Activision considering to be a soft sale following the release of Crash Bandicoot 4, It's About Time, which would ultimately amount the some 5 million copies sold. That seemed pretty strong to us, but besides Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy, managing 20 million sales, that's a lot. 20 million sales, that's fucking a lot. Like, holy shit. Perhaps it is soft. It's further claimed that Activision shut down another single-player sequel pitches during the period, including for Tony Hawk Pro Skater. The report contains alleged story concept and art that were bringing Bandai about. One idea was that the game would take place at a school of villainous children, with villains from previous games set to return. Another concept proposed a team-up between Crash and Spyro in response to an interdimensional event threatening both universe, with the two characters being playable. Would have been up for a potential Crash Bandicoot 5 featuring a possible cameo from Spyro himself. All well, content yourself with the knowledge that insatiable Call of Duty machine have been fed with will continue. Let us know in the comments section below. Once again, I don't know how I feel about this. I gotta admit, like, Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy, can't talk today. Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy managing 12 million sales, that's a lot. While Crash Bandicoot 4, It's About Time, it only got like 5 million, which is actually not that bad, in my opinion. And once again, Activision had to pull the plug on the Crash Bandicoot, and the fact that that it is canceled, which I don't really blame a lot of people being very upset about it, to be honest. But I'm actually going to continue reading other articles about this. Alright, so now I'm reading an article from Comic Books. And considering that this is the third one, this will probably be the last one that I'm probably going to read. Alright. Cancel Crash Bandicoot 5 plans revealed. Would have featured Spyro the Dragon. Crash 5 sounds like it would have been an amazing mashup by Mark Deschamps. Honestly, like, I would have agreed, like, Crash and Spyro the Dragon would have been a good matchup. But anyway, gonna continue reading. A few years ago, things were really looking up for the Crash Bandicoot franchise. The first 3 games receive a multiple remaster, and Crash Bandicoot 4, It's About Time to proved to be a welcomed return for the series. Crash 4 even hinted plans for a potential 5th game, but those plans seem to be fall through with the developer Toys for Bob becoming a support studio on the Call of Duty series instead. It's all been a bit confusing for fans, but Did You Know Gaming Liam Robertson has released a new video unearthing several details about the project and how it is going to fall and how it's all falling apart. Apparently, Crash Bandicoot 5 would have united the game's titular characters with Spyro the Dragon. The two Activision-owned characters had appeared in games together in the past, going back to 2004. However, the majority of these crossovers take place in Game Boy Advance titles or spin-offs like Skylanders and actual 3D platformer starring the two characters would have been quite a bit different and played to the strength of both franchises. In Crash 5, Uka Uka would have returned to the main villain, getting a I'm not going to I'm not gonna read this part because I've already read this on a different article. As detailed by Robertson, the project was ultimately scrapped due to Activision being underwhelmed by sales of Crash Bandicoot 4. Despite strong reviews, Crash Bandicoot 4 launched during the fall of 2020, where it was overshadowed by a number of other games, as well as the launch of the PS5 and Xbox Series X, XS. Toys for Bob's also attributes some of the games struggled to the fact that it was not released on Switch at launch, instead coming out 5 months after the version release on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. Back in June, artist Nicholas Cole said on X Twitter that someday folks will hear about the Crash 5 that never was, and it's gonna break hearts. Now that we know what was planned, it seems like that's very much the case. Following an acquisition of Activision Blizzard by Microsoft, Toys for Bob has become independent studio. I'm going to be honest, Toys for Bob has become a independent studio. That's actually a good move. At this point, we do not know what the team is working on next, though it will apparently be published by Xbox. It's sad to see more of the idea that could have been. But hopefully the next project from Toys R Bob will prove exciting for fans of Crash and Spyro. How do you feel about the concept for Crash 5? Are you sad it didn't happen? Share your thoughts with me directly on Twitter at Mark the Champ, on Blue Sky at Mark the Champ, or on Instagram at The Champ Gaming. I'm gonna be super honest. Like, my whole thing with this whole Crash Bandicoot 5 thing, honestly, like, I have never seen pictures of the concept art, but I can imagine it looking pretty damn cool. Honestly, like, I can imagine why a lot of Crash Bandicoot fans and Spyro fans are really upset about this, and quite frankly, I don't really blame them, to be super honest. Alright, now that I've read all 3 of the articles, I just want to put my 2 cents on this whole Crash Bandicoot 5 cancellation, because I have a lot to say, and it's very important, and to all the Crash fans and Spyro fans out there who are probably upset, honestly, I'm with y'all. And if we were to be really truthful here, to be 100, me personally, I think that Activision should have just gone along with the project, despite the fact that Crash Bandicoot 4, It's About Time performance was like 5 million units, which, I'm going to be super honest, like 5 million units is actually not that bad, to be honest, despite reviews. I haven't looked at the reviews yet, but I can imagine they were good reviews. Honestly, me personally, like, Activision should have just gone along with the project instead of just pulling the plug on it. But, that's Activision for y'all. I honestly think that they should have just gone along with it. But considering that they had to pull the plug on and everything, now Crash and Spyro fans are not going to get the ultimate Crash Bandicoot featuring Spyro game of all time. And that really sucks, because I actually want to see Crash and Spyro work together, honestly. I really do. That would have been an awesome concept. Actually, correction, kick-ass concept if you ask me. But no, Activision pulled the plug on it. Now, there is another issue I have that I've seen on Twitter, and this is just, run-out-of-the-mill drama and everything. I do not cover drama, and I try to stay away from it. But I just have one question. Why are people ganging up on Canadian guy? Now, just bear with me here. Not to bring him into this, but I've noticed there was a particular tweet that I've seen maybe yesterday. I'm not sure. But I've noticed along with the comments, I've noticed a lot of people are kind of ganging up on him. And I was just wondering why. The last thing that he said on his tweet was no need to kick the hornet's nest. And I do agree that people gotta chill with this whole Crash Bandicoot 5 thing. There should be no reason why we gotta gang up on other people. It's not right. And speaking of it, ganging up on other people, believe it or not, I had a friend of mine who was being ganged up upon this whole Crash Bandicoot. Blah, can't talk today. I had a friend of mine who was ganged up by some random user on X Twitter about the whole spiel about Crash Bandicoot 5 cancellation. And me personally, bullying people is not right, let alone harassment. I do not put up with that, and also, we also gotta be mindful about how we treat people when it comes to certain situations like this. Not to mention information-wise. And I always say, a community comes with a level of maturity. That's what's important. But other than that, I think that's all I really have to say, to be honest. I'm just kind of disappointed that Crash Bandicoot 5 is just not going to get the light of day to be seen. Though, on the other hand, now, I'm going to be, like, real talk. I have a feeling like Crash Bandicoot 5 is not over. I have a feeling like 3 years from now, maybe 5 to the max, Crash Bandicoot 5 is gonna be a thing. I want to say, and I have high hopes that maybe one day Crash Bandicoot 5 is gonna be a thing. Honestly, I think it will, because I don't think it's over. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but sooner or later, Crash Bandicoot 5 will have to be revived again. Someday. I'm not sure when, but eventually, hopefully that we'll get a Crash Bandicoot 5 featuring Spyro, because I actually want to see them actually work together, honestly, in a game, anyway. But that's all the time I have for this video. Thank you guys for watching. I do appreciate it, and honestly, I hope that Crash Bandicoot 5, along with Spyro being a crossover, would be a thing. Because honestly, I would actually like to see a Crash and Spyro game. I really do. But that's all I have to say. This is Son of Chaos, and I'll see you guys later. And remember to stay classy. Bye.